He's a British Bob Dylan, a hugely talented singer-songwriter who provided the music for Werner Herzog's new film Grizzly Man. He started out with Fairport Convention, whose 60s album Legion Leaf has just been voted the most influential folk album of all time. Robin Denzler reports on the folk revival and why it's hot.
Richard Thompson is one of the great British originals. Not a household name maybe, but he has a large, devoted cult following. But he's a hard man to pin down. His bleak or darkly humorous songs often echo traditional styles. After all, he was a pioneer of British folk rock while still a teenager.
Richard has written some fantastic songs. I mean, he has contributed to the canon of British contemporary songwriting. He's brought a feeling of the earth and the tradition to it.
It's a Vincent Black Lightning 1952.
I won't call him the English Bob Dylan because I might as well call Bob Dylan the American Richard Thompson.
Like Dylan, Thompson has refused to stick to one style. He's also one of the most distinctively British of rockers and an inspired guitarist.
Richard is a student of music. He can mimic styles, but he does so much more than mimic styles. He can get inside them and create something that is particularly his own. He's the only rock guitar hero that doesn't play any blues. Because he's like, to me, it's because he's like Django Reinhardt or somebody, or Bix Beiderbecke. He's one of those white players who isn't apologetic about how white he is, and he's not trying to sound black.
Record companies find it hard to promote those who leap between different styles, but Richard Thompson is at long last getting wider recognition from the folk scene. Folk music is deemed to be back in fashion, and these days it's certainly not embarrassing to be seen at the Radio 2 Folk Awards. Far from it.
When Brad and Angelina, Jamie and Jules and Pete and Kate are enjoying a snifter in the evening, where once upon a time they might have talked about Jimmy Choo's shoes or the Kabbalah or something like that. Now, arguments rage about dadgad tuning and which is the best Pentangle album, and did Bob Dylan...
It's the folk scene celebrity bash of the year, with an unexpected guest list, aware that a whole batch of new bands are influenced by traditional music. Among those handing out the awards, Mark Knopfler of Dire Straits fame.
So it's a special pleasure for me to present this Lifetime Achievement Award to Richard Thompson.
I'm not a folk singer, but the word folk is very floppy. You know, it's a very loose word that means different things to different people. I mean, I suppose I have traditional connections, so I'm like a singer-songwriter with traditional roots. So I almost qualify.
But being called a folkie and appearing at awards like that doesn't upset you?
I think it's almost fashionable to be called a folkie again. I mean, I think these things go in cycles. You know, people seem to need some connection to their roots every now and then, or need to be reminded of who they are and where they come from, as the world becomes increasingly one world.
One step for breaking, 2 steps for breaking, waltzings for dreams, but losers in love.
His songs are often very, very sad. Even the gentle Waltzings for Dreamers is about loss and loneliness.
Waltzings for dreamers and losers in love.
They are depressing. I think when you come out of the folk tradition, the songs are about murder, and they're about battles and people getting their heads chopped off, and incest, and people being carried off by the fairies. It's pretty dark stuff. So to me, dark is normal, and pop is trivial. So if I'm judged by the pop audience, they might think it on the dark side.
His journey to the dark